this is Cinta speaking, and welcome to Musical Musings, where I dump my thoughts on the new music I've been listening to and the songs that have been living rent-free in my mind recently. Let's start off with the albums I've listened to. Ugh, Those Feels Again by Snoh Aalgeera. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So, I stalk my friends' listening habits through the friend feed on Spotify. So, I found this album purely because I'm a nosy bitch. One of my friends was listening to it, and I just wanted to see what it sounded like. I'm glad I did though, because even though I like R&B, I don't seek it out as often as I do my other favorite genres like K-pop or regular pop. So to be reminded of how much I like it is a pleasant surprise. Snow has a really beautiful voice, and the songs are super smooth and sensual, which make for a great soundtrack for a relaxing evening at home. So yeah, I really like this album. I recommend it. Next up, You're a Winner Baby by RuPaul. I've been weirdly preoccupied with media that is related to RuPaul's Drag Race, but not the actual TV show itself, because I'm too wimpy for the intensity of reality TV and the chaos of competitiveness. Regardless, I decided to dive into RuPaul's music. Despite the sizable catalog RuPaul has under her belt, I chose You're a Winner Baby, which was released earlier this year. My friend persuaded me into making a list of the best releases of 2020 for both albums and songs, so this has led me to pay closer attention to music released this year. This album isn't too memorable for me, but I did latch on to Blessed and Super Sexy Lady, two tracks that are really fun and has this really great disco dance vibes that almost take you straight to the gay club, which I guess is the point of the album. The next album that I've listened to is Dedicated Side B by Carly Rae Jepsen. How awkward would it be if I liked this more than the first Dedicated album? That's not true, but I do feel like the quality of the songs here are of equal standing to those in Dedicated, if not higher. And I find that kind of weird, but whatever. I was quite surprised, for example, to see that the track list for this was 12 songs long, considering Emotion Side B had like 7 or something. Furthermore, Emotion Side B had songs that did feel like they were B-sides, and Carly Rae decided to, out of the graciousness of her heart, just release them for the fans anyway. However, Dedicated Side B feels like an extension or a continuation of Dedicated, rather than the quote-unquote leftovers of the quote-unquote main project. I don't have much to say other than this is just an incredibly enjoyable listening experience and will probably feature in my 2020 year-end best albums list. It's fun, it's consistent, and it's like, it doesn't, even though it's thematically similar to the first Dedicated album, there's still a lot of like new things in there. And of course, I love that the Bleachers is a feature, and yeah, it's just really nice to see them work together again. Alright, the next album that I listened to is Fantasia X by Monsta X. So this is their latest comeback after Wonho. I don't remember the guy's name, but one of them left after a scandal. It was a big thing. And this is their first album without him, I think. To put it bluntly, Monsta X is one of those groups that I just have no interest in, or at least had no interest in. I'm typically disinclined to boy groups anyway, but Monsta X singles have always sounded like a blender at high speed to me, so I never sought them out because they just never caught my attention, and their music just never felt like something I want to listen to, basically. However, I decided to give them a try during this latest comeback. So I found Fantasia X, like most K-pop albums, to be an extremely mixed bag. There are 2 tracks that I don't mind taking with me, which are Stand Up and Beautiful Night. That being said, it's actually really laughable just how predictable I am with my music tastes. I've become super hyper aware of my musical preferences as I broaden my musical horizons. And it is astoundingly obvious that I would like of course I would pick these two songs out of the 7 in the track list. It's wow. Okay. An honorable mention is the track Flow, which has lots of really really intriguing elements. It's got like things that if they were used sparingly, techniques that if they were used sparingly, I would really enjoy a lot more. But as it is, I struggle to enjoy it as a whole. Maybe if they had dialed it down, the intensity down just a notch, I would. But it's just as it is. It's just a hair width over the top, just a little bit over. But who knows? Maybe I'll come back to it and will be more inclined to listen to it. But it is a really interesting song. I like. Whereas Stand Up and Beautiful are good songs in the sense that they're quite friendly. I guess I don't want to say generic, but it's something that you've heard of before, and it's because they utilize a formula that works well. Flow is just kind of like all over the place, but in a really like interesting and ear catching way. Yeah. I suggest you listen to it and tell me what you think though. But that had a lot of potential. I just wish it wasn't so much. Anyway, the next album. Oh my god, I love this album. Chromatica by Lady Gaga. Can you believe that this is the only Lady Gaga album I've actually fully listened to? I'm a normie in the sense that like I've only heard of her singles in the past, but she had a new album this year, and I decided to check her out. And you know what? We stan. I don't know if I should be glad that this is the first project I've been exposed to though, because now I have like an expectation for the rest of her discography. Is this a good introduction? Let me know. Regardless, like I said, this album is fantastic. The pop music scene, I feel like, has been dominated by the sense of nostalgia for a few years now. Whether it's artists delving into like 80s synth pop or disco or funk, you can see it in things like freaking Dua Lipa doing her classic, literally Future Nostalgia. Oh, by the way, I didn't like that album. Anyway, of course, Carly Rae Jepsen a couple of years back with Emotion, and to name a couple of other people. People have just been really attuned to the past these days. Anyway, moving on. So to me, these pop artists' songs have always felt a little watered down, because even though they're influenced by the past times, they are regardless targeting audiences of today, and therefore are more attuned to modern sensibilities. Chromatica bypasses all of those barriers. It just goes straight for the jugular, and I think that's what makes it a really strong and powerful album. The techno, disco, and house influences just swirl together to create this really potent, exhilarating, and intoxicating cocktail of freedom and energy. This has earned a guaranteed seat in my 2020 year-end best albums list. Yes. Alright, homies. I saved the longest for last. Buckle up. This is going to be a long one. More and More by Twice. The much anticipated comeback with Mina back in action from her hiatus. So the musical themes kind of build up from what their previous EP had started, albeit with a lot more tropical EDM vibes. To be honest, I did prefer Feel Special over this one. Feel Special was dynamic but still cohesive and had more personality in more ways than one. All the lyrics, for example, were written by a Twice member, so it definitely felt more genuine to them as artists, because it's actually them who have written the songs that they're singing. And this album, I think only 3 members have participated in writing the lyrics. And that's not always the worst thing in the world. They've always had like great music, even though they didn't have as much creative control over it. But to me, as a person who values, the words in a song, I take that into consideration. Anyway, so my disinclination for more and more is likely due to my personal musical preferences. While both albums while Feel Special and More are EDM, they each borrow from sets of wildly different musical genres for inspiration, which is, of course, the point of doing different concepts, right? They are aiming for a different feel each time. Feel Special had a lot more electro house vibes, which went really well with the elegant, glamorous image that they were going for as they try to step out of their, signature bubblegum pop persona and into this more mature, sleeker, and sensual side as they grow older. They're getting on in years in the K-pop industry, at least. So more and more, kind of going for that summery vibe, because it's summer in Korea, I think, leans towards the tropical house feel for half of the album's runtime, and then the other half is more all over the place. So this leads me to feel like More and More is a bit incoherent, or at least not as coherent as Feel Special. Overall, I just feel like this is a lackluster project compared to Feel Special, which I felt was, vibrant, lively, and new, with distinctive tracks and memorable moments. That being said, I don't dislike this album. It's just not what I hoped it to be, especially after its predecessor blew me away. My favorite songs are More and More, Make Me Go, and Oxygen. I have a lot of thoughts about More and More, the title track, which I'll get to in a second. Oxygen and Make Me Go are thematically similar to the tracks in Feel Special, and that's really cool. Oxygen, for example, has that same bright bass line that is prominent in Rainbow, and Make Me Go harkens back to Love Foolish, which features similar sultry, sassy spoken word breakdowns. So even though they use these techniques, the same techniques, the tone, the emotions are different. And that's really cool, I think, because I just wish they did more put togetherness. They could have used that for the entire album, but it's just these two tracks that I felt actually showed that a kind of like continuity with the discography. Anyway, so let's move on to the title track, More and More. It's soft, pretty, and a lot more Western radio oriented than Feel Special, that title track, or Fancy, which is likely due to the producers behind it. Zara Larsson, especially, who is famous for songs like Symphony, Lush Life, is credited for this track, and it's really easy to see the similarities in style. You just need to listen to the aforementioned songs to hear it. If I can be blunt, and I can be because this is my channel, if Twice didn't sing this song and it was instead sung by anyone else, I'm sorry, I would hate the song. If More and More was sung by anyone else, I would probably think it was bland and has nothing unique to offer. Now, but as it is, it's sung by Twice, so I like it. Now, that's a bold statement, so I will attempt to explain myself. And I've got a good reason for this bold statement. Liking something because your fave sang it is in itself already speaks for the emotional ties a fan can have with their faves. In my case, however, I like the song because it consists of 9 distinct voices that I not only recognize, but also have an emotional investment in. You can argue that what really separates K-pop idol music from the music of the West is that there are just more voices, and if utilized well, can definitely elevate the quality of the song. I really like what they did with the pre-chorus and the chorus. Sana has this bright, almost trill, but like in a good way, tone that cuts through the heady instrumentation. So I love that she's the one that starts the pre-chorus. And I love she's the one that she kind of continues her tradition of the Twice hook. She went from shy 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 to more more and more, and that's really cool. It's consistent with the Twice image. That Sana has the classic catchy hook. Chayoung and Dahyun then follow up, and both have really pretty voices that over the years have been pushed further and further into the limelight, and that's really good because usually, of course, they're the rappers, so they rap, but as shown in Feel Special, they have amazing voices, and it's really good for the producers to utilize it. And then the music stops in the chorus. The music stops for Nayeon, whose voice pierces through to end the pre-chorus with the hook and lead them into the chorus. And then I gotta applaud them, because from previous title tracks, it used to feel like they didn't know what to do with Momo's voice. It felt like they didn't know how to make it fit, and she always ended up standing out in a bad way, or that you can tell they just gave her the leftover lines, so she is, technically still singing with the group. But I think they finally figured out how to use her voice during Fancy era. More and More is a testament to that. We commonly use line distribution as the primary measurement of a member's presence or absence in a song. However, Momo feels really present in More and More, maybe because her verse comes in relatively early in the song, or because they get her to end the chorus with the hook. But if you look at it, she still has the least amount of lines, but that doesn't matter. By using her voice the way they did, she feels like she occupies a larger space, and she just feels she just has more presence, more weight in the song, and that's really good. So yeah, that ends my More and More rant. I just had a lot to say about More and More, I guess. Okay, song selections. Moving on to song selections. These are just some tracks that I've been really obsessed with the past couple of days, that have been like on constant repeat and that are just really, really great songs. So they're in no order. I'm just listing them off as they come. So the first song is Baby Don't Stop by NCT U. There are these playlists on YouTube that K-pop stans make. Playlists, they usually title them like K-pop songs to party to, or K-pop songs for the summer, or K-pop songs for the rain, etc. And Baby Don't Stop has been featured in every single K-pop anthems, songs to strip to, songs to have sex to playlist that I've seen, alongside every 10-minute single. And I've never actually listened to this song in full until a couple of days ago. It's always been like that chorus, and then miraculously one day I just came across the music video, and I was like, shit, I've been sleeping on the single for God knows how long. So 10's godly vocals paired with the absolute hidden weapon that is Taeyoung's singing voice is just so sexy. It's like, wow, I understand why everyone puts you in these playlists. However, the only thing I don't like about it is when Taeyoung whisper raps, it sounds like he's just inches away from my ear and is threatening me with like a gun, and not in a hot way. But anyway, I can push past that, because holy shit, these guys' vocal talent is insane. It's so good, and like it really does make me feel like a slut. Like,
I mean, I'm not a slut, but who knows?
But yeah, I mean, like, I really like this. It makes me feel really confident, and that I'm fly and sexy and shit like that. Anyway, second song. Hey kitty girl, it's your world. When you walk the street, step into the beat. Oh my god, something about this song just makes me so happy. Like I said before, I've been really obsessed with like drag race related media. So I watched the Kitty Girl remix performance from All Star Season 3 because Trixie Mattel is in it and I love her. This song is really catchy and fun and upbeat, and it never fails to make me smile, dance, and sing along. I like both songs equally, the original and the remix, although there is a verse in the All Stars remix that I find quite weak that kind of diminishes the quality. I won't say whose verse it is because I don't know the other drag queens' names. I only know Trixie. So, the next song, Rain on Me, Rain, Rain, Rain on Me, Rain. I've loved this since I first heard it when it was released. I mean, how can you go wrong with Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, two amazing powerhouse vocalists? Like, the flavor, what a moment. Most pleasing to my career. Anyway, I'm a big sucker, like I said, for electro house music, and the lyrics just speak to me in a really significant way. This song has actually helped me ease out of a depressive episode, and because it's so like upbeat and like freeing, and it just imbues this kind of like confidence that you didn't realize you had. It just teases it out of you. It makes you like yeah, I don't know, it's just really nice song. It's just a really nice song. I'm probably gonna put it in my like year-end songs list. It's just a really great song. I really like the album. I've always knew, even before I actually listened to Chromatica, that no matter what was on the album itself, this is probably gonna be the most important track from that album for me. So yeah, the last song that has been living rent free in my mind, it's called Comme des Garcons by Rina Sawayama. Boys like the boys, Comme des Garcons. I'm so confident. Anyway, in contrast, the opposite of Rain on Me, I actually I heard this before I listened to Sawayama, and I actually kind of disliked it, and even kind of deterred me from actually checking out the full album. And even after I listened to Sawayama, it still kind of remained out of my radar. I didn't think it was as good as the other tracks, but and then one day a switch flipped, and next thing I knew, I had this on repeat for days. I think it's just like my friend really liked it, and then now I can see why. It's just like, it's so subtle, but so like it kind of gives you a kind of confidence that is like different from the kind of confidence that Rain on Me gives you. It's like this one makes you feel like you're on a runway and you're wearing the latest Gucci fucking Armani, Louis Vuitton looking ass clothes. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is really, I mean, like, it's expected of a song titled Comme des Garcons, which I didn't know was a clothing brand. So stan Rina Sawayama, she teaches you new things every day. Okay, and that seems to be it for my first ever Musical Musings video. Like and subscribe, and take care during these trying times. Yeah, Black Lives Matter. Stay inside, wash your hands, be strong. Okay, goodbye.